Hello everybody and welcome to a windy and gray Sunday in the gardens here. It's threatening thunderstorms today, so I'm going to try and get some of these outside clips before that happens, and we'll see how much of this I can squeeze in before it starts to pour on me. So here's a look at that apple tree in Shox's fairy garden. Tons of blossoms on that thing. I'm probably going to need to thin them out a little bit if I want to get some decent sized fruit, but they sure are beautiful to look at. Kind of seeing the crabapple behind it, some blossoms there. Still nothing happening as far as blossoms on this one tree in front. Might just be time to let that one pass on. Here are a couple of bushes we have in the front yard. Now, I would really appreciate some help with this. To me, this looks like it should be a fruiting type bush. You know, based on little clusters of flowers and stuff. The leaf kind of reminds me of a Saskatoon, but I'm not really sure. So what was it Troll said? Pause on the plants for identification. So of course the wind picks up. But I'm hoping these are edible. Someone suggested they might be something locally referred to as drunken berries, little red berries. People can't eat because they're toxic to us, but the birds love them and apparently wander around like they've been drinking heavily after they get into these. So yeah, I'm hoping for Saskatoon berries, but drunken berries could be interesting to watch the birds. At the Windmill garden area, I finally got most of the weeding done. Still a little bit I need to do in there, but the goji berries are doing great. And that black lace elderberry is looking like it made it. That's exciting. And up the windmill tower, we have this kind of creeping vine. This is really, well, it was really pretty in the fall. They're all like a dark red, almost like a Japanese maple. Went all the way up this tower. So I'm really curious to see what it's going to look like this spring and summer. Should make for some good pictures along the way. Thinking very much about putting hot peppers all around here. I was going to do the bee bait with the perennial flowers and stuff, but because we think this might be a well, I'm thinking something that's going to get dug up every year might be the way to go, because sooner or later I'm going to have to deal with this. So I might put in the Peters hot peppers and the Portugal hot pepper mix, because I'm starting to get some sprouts out of both of those. In the first garden patch here, we've got one of the peas coming up in the first square that I planted. The other square of peas is doing fantastic. But if we look down here at the radishes, again, way too closely spaced together, you can see all these little dots on the leaves. Now apparently those little dots and pockmarks are caused by some sort of flea or beetle that is attracted to anywhere that canola grows. And I was warned about this by the woman at the post office, actually. I guess she can't grow radishes out here either, and that is why. So those will be an indoor crop, I suspect, in the future. But up here we've got what look to maybe be some beet starts, so that would be good. We've got some beet starts way up over there too. Excellent news. I had a few other kale plants that were surviving-ish, being planted outside, so I brought them into this patch of garden. We've got a Brussels sprout there, and then I don't know how well the little row lines are showing up in the middle there, but I planted beans in here because all those peppers that I brought out died. So hopefully the beans will do better. Again, it's a matter of I'm not quite sure how well the rows are showing up here, but I did end up planting 4 rows of corn in the back of this original garden bed that we dug up. So that'll be exciting. I way overplanted these rows, but you know, if I get a 1 in 3, 1 in 5 survival rate, we've still got enough corn to see us through the year. So that'll be fabulous. And then for those of you who follow the Clean Valley Farms channel, you'll be aware that Shox was doing some digging the other day, and we built a raised bed back there. Nothing planted in that yet, but very soon. But in the front part of this, last night we were out planting by the moonlight, and these are all of the pepper plants that survived those aphid wars, not including the last batch of seedlings that went in there. Having no other plan, I decided to go alphabetical with the planting, and it's worked out kind of funny. I've got 2 dragon cayennes in the back there, and 2 Nepalese bell in the back there, and a little L of banana peppers there. Nice little block of the sweet heats. Hopefully they'll make it. And then a row of St. Thomas Banes that may or may not be showing up on the camera there. A little bit of space there, but I'm sure I'll find some sort of pepper to put into it. We did manage to bring out 3 of the tomatoes last night before it just got to be too late to be out here. These 3 are bush beefs. I have no idea if this 3 on a cage thing is going to work or not, but it's what I've got, so it's what I'm doing. And then along the back half of this, I think we're going to go with some Three Sisters garden. And we're also going to do that in this raised bed garden here. If you want to see how we did that, like I said, check out Clean Valley Farms. Probably shouldn't plant in this yet, but I'm going to anyway. So again, it's going to be corn and beans and squash. So we'll see how that does. Here's the little red currant bush, seems to be doing okay. Follow along in the line. Here we've got the Borealis haskap. Also seems to be doing just fine since it was transplanted. Maybe a few more blossoms on top there than last week. And then over here, we have the polar jewel. Starting to curl up its leaves for the coming rain, but otherwise looking pretty darn good to me. Been slowly working on this garden bed, trying to pull out all those little trees that were popping up like weeds everywhere. Still have that section there to do, but considering the whole bed pretty much looked like that when I started, that's progress. It's progress. Rome wasn't built in a day, right? There's a different angle on that gooseberry from last week. And here I can see, I don't know how well it's showing up in the camera, but there are plenty of blossoms and fruit starts on here, so this is good. I'm really excited to try a gooseberry, you know? Like, you know you're addicted to gardening when you're planting things you've never even eaten. And then here we've got the smoky Saskatoon that we purchased and brought with us. It's kind of similar to the leaves out front, but kind of different, I don't know. Not quite sure why this one stem seems to have died, but the rest of it looks like it's doing alright. I should probably cut that out. Here scattered on the table you can see the rest of the survivors of the aphid wars. Some melons, some cucumber type things, some more brassica type things, and a few tomatoes, and one very nice looking honeydew melon. Hopefully that will survive the transplant. Well, here's an interesting critter I've never seen before, hanging out on one of the shrine peppers. Maybe I'll wait before I do the shrine update today. Let's hope that's hunting aphids. Here in the southern windows we can take a look at the pepper shrine. None of these plants are ever going to end up outdoors, poor things, but they seem to be doing just fine with the windowsill. Got fruit on 3 of these things now. The Sweet Heat's got fruit. The red cherry bomb has fruit, and just recently promoted to the downstairs window, the lemon yellow hot pepper has fruit. It's a little drippy because I just sprayed it with the neem oil. Here is the pepper shrine Scotch bonnet on the right and the Fatale on the left. They're doing alright, I'd say. Not the sexiest peppers out there, but you know what? For peppers grown by me, these look fantastic. Then upstairs in the blue room window, we've got the kind of the younger peppers on the shrine here. These are all ones, well, except for this one here. These are all peppers that I'm hoping to save seeds from. Got the Tangerine Dream up here. The little blue is starting to look really nice. Very happy with that. Then I got the Trinidad Scorpion. Just recently been moved to the window since it's looking a little stronger. It's the Chocolate Habanero from Revtos. There's a nice Nepalese bell. Doing quite nicely indeed. Then over here we've got the red tie. I planted this like in January. It has suffered so much. And yet it lives to suffer some more. What a different look for these shelves. But here are the pepper seedlings that got planted last time. Lots of things sprouting up there, so I will have a few more things to plant outside. Over here I've got some solo cups going on there with some onions. Those were red pearl onions we picked up at the co-op grocery. Little spruce sitting in the back there, I don't even know why. These would be the Cherokee purple tomato starts that were a little late and will eventually end up outside. A few more peppers there. And there's my avocado. Finally sprouting. Got some roots showing through there. So that is wonderful. I think it's time to put it in a darker cup now that I know it's doing something. But huzzah, and thank you to all of you who have patiently requested that I have a little more patience with that avocado. That's awesome. Never grown an avocado before. Saw one just the other day on the only Sir Cracker's, was it Sir Cracker's Garden, I think is the name of the channel. But he's got like 3 of them braided together, looks really nice. Should go check him out. But yeah, so that's where the green room sits right now. Oh, there's one of the pepper survivors of the aphid wars. Hot lemon pepper. All it's got is just a couple little tiny leaves on it. I don't know if it's going to make yet. At least I've got space to plant the herb garden now. I've still got piles of seeds that I want to try growing this year, so we've still got a lot of digging outside to do, I think. There's going to be at least another one of those raised beds coming in the nearish future. Possibly even by next week. I don't know for sure. Don't want to make any promises yet. But yeah, there's squash I want to plant out there still. Beans and peas and there's all kinds of stuff. So yeah, time to start planting. What do they call it? Direct sowing, I guess, when you throw it straight into the ground, which doesn't necessarily, I don't know, I worry about sprouting rates, but whatever, we'll see, and that's gardening, isn't it? And then for the final garden today, I guess we've got the aquaponics system, so we'll take a quick look at the bed there, and then I'll wrap this up, because I want to get to planting the rest of the stuff that's sitting on the kitchen table, get it out in the ground, now that I've got ground to put it in. Anyway, yeah. For those of you who still want to hang out and have a little more visit, there will be, following all of this, there is a few clips from last night when I tried to do a video about planting things out by moonlight. My camera doesn't dig the dark, so that kind of fizzled about halfway through, but might as well add it at the end here for those of you who might enjoy it. Alright, let's take a look at the Aquaponics. By the end of it all, I did end up putting the cross piece back on because I've got the support of the PVC going across here. When this fills up a little bit, this is going to be just underwater based on a couple of suggestions. I'm only putting 1 underwater, leaving 2 above as a siphon break so it doesn't drain back into the tank. Looking at the sump tank here, you might notice I seem to have some apple tree cuttings in here. I'm trying to keep these alive while I figure out a few different ways to attempt rooting them, because these are taken off of the apple tree that's in Shox's fairy garden, and it looks to be a very, very productive and very hardy variety of apple. So, yeah, those are sitting in there. I've clipped the tops off a few of them to try rooting them in the aquaponics here, because I always try rooting things in the aquaponics. This one's a little limp. These ones are a little limp as well, but I just had all of this turned off for the night, just turning it on now, so it's probably a little thirsty. But based on the cuttings that are in the sump tank there, it should perk back up. Got those 2 little broken bits of honeyberry bush here, so it would be really nice if they root. So there's my 1 little pea I've got growing, the Brussels sprouts growing, a few different kale around. All these radish sprouts are still popping up all over the place. I still haven't been able to go through all of this to remove any offending media and such, because frankly I still haven't found anything at the co-op that I can replace it with. So, not sure. I might even go deep water culture with this bed while I try and figure that one out, because I'm already seeing the stunted growth and the lightening of leaves on a few of these things that I was warned about is going to be an issue with high pH. So, gotta do something. Alright everybody, well it's starting to mist outside, so I'm really rapidly running out of time to plant things because I don't want to be out there in the pouring rain. I'm gonna let you go. Like I said, I'm gonna throw last night's failed video on at this point for those of you who still want to watch and hang out. Otherwise, thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful week ahead, everybody. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you probably on Wednesday with some sort of garden craft / project. Alright, bye. Hello everybody, and welcome to the full flower moon, also known as the last moon in May, also known as this is when people around here put things in their garden. So, today I'm emptying the green room, which is to say tonight, really. So here on our dining room table you can see the survivors of the aphid wars in the green room, and I'm impressed. You know, when you spread it out on a table, it looks like a lot more than it does scattered in little pockets on those shelves. So on the one side here we've got the tomatoes, we've got peppers in the middle here, and then up front we've got a few different types of cucumbers. In the back we have some kale, a cabbage, a few Brussels sprouts, and the mouse melon. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, since most of this is going to happen in the yard at like 10 o'clock plus at night. I have no idea how much of it my camera is going to record. But since I am planting out for the season, I thought I would at least try and get a video to share with you guys what's going on in the gardens, right? Here's a look at what's left going on in the green room here. A whole bunch of pepper seedlings, not quite ready to go outside in my opinion. And a few that should have been transplanted, and got that one melon I need to take down to the table. But yeah, otherwise kind of looking like a ghost town right now. Gargoyles watching over nothing. Well, if that doesn't prove the point about planting on the full flower moon, I don't know what will. Haven't seen a tractor out in that field for quite some time, but it sure looks like he's busy at the moment. My camera doesn't want to focus at that distance. Oh well, I'm out here to plant my own crops anyway. Hoping to plant them right there, in point of fact. Maybe some there. Can hear them working away down on the train tracks tonight. Planting by the beautiful moon with the awesome background soundtrack of the train, which I'm not even being sarcastic there, it's so much better than the airports. And planting by hand crank LED light. This... You know, there are moments in life when you think to yourself, only me, man. Only me. Alright, so please work for the camera. We've got this area here, shocks dug out, and a bunch of peppers.